Well, imagine defending your country in Iraq only to learn that you're facing another battle at home. That is the situation one local military man from Virginia Beach is facing right now.
10 on your side, military reporter Art Kahn has been working all day on a story about an Air Force pilot who's trying to keep everything he owns from being auctioned off. Art joins us now with details on what continues to develop. Art?
Well, Nicole and Stephanie, this is a story about a man who sold his house before being deployed and hired a company to put his belongings in storage until he returned from the fight. But now he's in a fight to keep what he has while defending the nation a world away.
At the age of 50, Air Force reservist Dave Mutzabaugh was called to duty flying combat missions over Iraq.
Right before he went to Iraq, his wife died of a heart attack, and he moved all the possessions that he'd accumulated over 50 years, including family heirlooms.
Attorney Alan Broom showed 10 on your side an invoice from a company called Moving On Up that Mutzabaugh hired to store his belongings.
Who apparently also goes by Hampton Roads Moving Service, Inc. He contracted in December of 2010 and prepaid the whole 15 months of storage. You gave him a check for $3,000.
That company is owned by a man who lives in this Virginia Beach house named James Richard George. George made arrangements to store Mutzabaugh's property at this Jackrabbit storage facility off Laskin Road.
Jackrabbit Self-Storage tells me that they don't have a lease with Moving On Up or under the other corporate name. That they have a lease with a Mr. Rick George.
Broom says he's been trying to contact George for about 2 months since learning from his friend and client Dave Mutzabaugh that the lease on the storage units is about 3 months or $1,400 overdue and that the property inside could be up for auction soon. George did not return our calls either.
Mr. George has retained counsel.
Broom is currently negotiating to secure his client's property and take over the lease of the storage units at Jackrabbit. He cautions service members leaving for deployments to check the reputation of a storage company on Google before doing business with them.
I found other complaints against Moving On Up Storage that were readily available by punching their name in and hitting, search.
Since learning the identity of the true owner, a spokesperson for Jackrabbit assured me that they will not put Mutzabaugh's possessions or those of any deployed service member up for auction. They also tell me that since our visit to George's home, he has contacted them and promised to pay the balance due on the storage units tonight. However, there's still no word on whether or not George has made good on that promise. Art Kahn, 10 on your side.